Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Broncos likely won't get rematch with former $245 million QB. The anticipated rematch between the Denver Broncos and former quarterback Russell Wilson and the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 2 appears to be off the table. Speaking with The Athletic's Mike DeFabua and Nick Kosmitter, Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin said Wilson would likely be out for a second straight week with a calf injury and unavailable for the game at Denver on September 15. Justin Fields is on track to make his second consecutive start for the Steelers after they opened the season with an 18-10 win over Atlanta Falcons. Denver lost its season opener, 26-20, against the Seattle Seahawks. As we sit here today, we're preparing as if Justin is our quarterback, Tomlin said. The Steelers will be analyzing whether Wilson is capable of protecting himself, whether he's capable of being productive. Wilson played for the Broncos in 2022 and 2023 via one of the NFL's all-time worst trades and all-time worst contracts. Few quarterbacks in NFL history have seen their careers and reputations drop off a cliff like Wilson did over the last 3 years. Wilson was one of the NFL's elite quarterbacks for the first decade of his career, leading the Seahawks to 2 Super Bowl appearances and winning once. In that time, he was an NFL All-Pro and 9-time Pro Bowler. After leading the Seahawks to a 7-10 record in 2021, rumors swirled that Wilson tried to get head coach Pete Carroll and general manager John Schneider fired, which Wilson later denied. In the end, the Seahawks granted his request for a trade and sent him to Denver. The price was steep for the Broncos. In exchange for Wilson and a 4th-round pick, the Seahawks received 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, tight end Noah Fant, quarterback Drew Lock and defensive lineman Shelby Harris. Wilson's real damage to the franchise came in the form of a 5-year, $245 million contract extension he signed after the trade that included $165 million in guaranteed money. After Wilson went 11-19 in 2 cringe-inducing seasons with the Broncos, he was released in March 2024 and signed a 1-year, $1.2 million contract with the Steelers. That move left the Broncos on the hook for another $85 million in dead cap money spread over the 2024 and 2025 seasons, including an NFL record $49.6 million dead cap hit in 2025. The Broncos and second-year head coach Sean Payton turned the leaf quickly at quarterback following Wilson's release when they drafted Oregon star Bo Nix at number 12 overall in the 2024 NFL Draft after he set an FBS record with 61 career starts. Nix won the starting quarterback job by beating out veterans Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson in training camp. Nix struggled mightily in his first career start in Week 1 against the Seahawks, going 26 of 42 passing for 138 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He's the first rookie to start at quarterback for the Broncos since Pro Football Hall of Famer and 2-time Super Bowl champion John Elway started for the franchise in 1983. Troy Fautanu still competing to start, Mike Tomlin says, he's deserving of that. Without Troy Fautanu, the Pittsburgh Steelers starting lineup isn't necessarily complete, head coach Mike Tomlin admitted. The rookie first-round pick was vying for a starting job before injuring his knee in the preseason. Even though they opened the year with Dan Moore Jr. and Broderick Jones at tackle, Tomlin assured that the door is still very much open for the rookie, even if it is easier said than done in season. It's more difficult, but we have a commitment to continuing it because we liked what we saw from him during team development, Tomlin said of the challenge of integrating Fautanu into the lineup and pushing for a starting job, via the Steelers' website. He's deserving of that. His talents are deserving of that. We'll balance that the best we can. Drafted 20th overall out of Washington, Troy Fautanu spent all offseason working at right tackle. He spent most of that time taking second-team reps but saw more first-team action into training camp. During the first quarter of the first preseason game, he sprained his MCL. but Fotanu returned to practice in some form or fashion in the week leading up to the regular season opener. A reporter asked Tomlin Tuesday if he was practicing now without restrictions. "I don't know what that means, but he's practicing," he said. The Steelers hope to move Broderick Jones from right tackle to left tackle with Fotanu inserted on the right side. The timing of his injury prevented that to start the season, and since then, Jones has been stuck working there. Both Moore and Jones did a commendable job in the opener, however, so there is no desperate rush for change. Even assuming Troy Fotanu claims a starting job in the coming weeks, there will be some growing pains. The Steelers already have one rookie offensive lineman in the starting lineup in Zach Frazier. The second-round center was one of their best linemen in the opener, playing alongside Spencer Anderson in his first start. A second-year player, Anderson filled in for Isaac Seumalo at left guard. Though Fotanu dressed for the game, he did not play. What would an in-season competition look like? Well, the Steelers managed it last year, replacing Chukwuma Okorafor with Jones. Reportedly, they were planning for Troy Fotanu to start the opener. The bigger obstacle may very well be adjusting Jones to the left side. I imagine both Moore and Jones would have to play some phenomenal football to keep Fotanu on the bench the entire season. The Steelers think very highly of their rookie linemen and view them as foundation stones for the decade ahead. But they have to figure out what way is best for the team as a whole to integrate Fotanu into the lineup. Steelers urged to sign former 49ers and Rams starting player immediately. Despite the bright opening to the NFL season, Matt Holder of Bleacher Report's scouting department is pointing out a few areas where the Steelers could use some help. In a September 9th article about prioritizing each lineup's biggest weaknesses ahead of Week 2, Holder praised the Steelers. That said, Holder currently says he believes the Steelers' biggest weakness is at center, followed by left tackle, running back, linebacker, and sophomore cornerback. For immediate relief, Holder suggests the Steelers sign cornerback Ahkello Whitherpoon to the roster now. As mentioned last week, the Steelers could use some experienced help at cornerback starting the season on injured reserve. In the meantime, it's pretty disconcerting that Whitherpoon is still available, he noted of the free agent. He has had injury issues in the past, but he is coming off a season in which he played and started in every Rams game and recorded a career-high 14 passes defensed. Additionally, the 7-year pro has allowed a passer rating of 76.7 when targeted, per PFF. He concluded, so this could be a situation where the stars align, given the team's need for cornerbacks and Whitherpoon's starting experience. In a February 2024 free agent spotlight on the Rams website, writer Stu Jackson said Whitherpoon was a stabilizing veteran presence in the Rams secondary. Most notably, he played and started in every regular season game for the first time in his career, likely as a result of finding a new coach and program that he didn't have earlier in his career last offseason, in an effort to enter this season as healthy as possible, Jackson added. Whitherpoon began his NFL career with the San Francisco 49ers and played with the team from 2017 to 2020. He signed a contract with the Seattle Seahawks in March 2021, but was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers in September of that year. He signed with the Rams in June 2023. In the Bleacher Report article, Holder suggested the Steelers sign Clelin Ferrell from the Washington Commanders in 2025 free agency if Ferrell is available. DeMarcus Lawrence is entering a contract year and will turn 33 in April. While the hope is that 2024 second-round pick Marshawn Kneeland can step up and replace the veteran in the starting lineup next year, it wouldn't be a bad idea to add Ferrell as an insurance policy and a cheaper free agent. He added, if Kneeland isn't ready, Ferrell can contribute on early downs while the Western Michigan product comes off the bench in passing situations. Worst-case scenario, the defense has a veteran backup they can trust. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Ahkello Whitherpoon? Leave your opinion in the comments.